You finally find the perfect house. You put down a deposit, you move in, you're all excited. But then, weird stuff starts happening. Seriously creepy stuff. Would you bail, or would you stick it out? To try and answer that question, let's dive into a brand new movie that's got mystery and intrigue written all over it. Alright, let's get into it. Song-hee is the name of this single mom. After getting divorced, she's been working her tail off, and she's finally able to move into a new place with her daughter. The apartment building is a little older, but the security is great and the rent is cheap. So Song-hee immediately starts decorating. There's just one thing that's a little unsettling, and that's the neighbor downstairs. On her very first day moving in, he's already standing on his balcony, just staring at her and her daughter. And then, in the middle of the night, he comes knocking on her door. Song-hee, totally freaked out, quickly slams the door shut. The next morning, Song-hee heads to the service center. She works as an insurance investigator, so she doesn't get to spend as much time with her daughter as she'd like. But thinking about that creepy guy last night, Song-hee is feeling uneasy. So, she decides to hire a nanny to take care of her daughter. Since nannies are super expensive in Korea, Song-hee ends up finding a Vietnamese woman who speaks Korean. Her name is Soo-jin. She's 30 years old, and she came to South Korea from her hometown to get medical treatment for her younger sister. This detail shows the goodness in her heart and character. This is also something that Song-hee likes most about her. Still, just to be safe, Song-hee installs a few cameras around the house. You know, you always hear stories on the news about nannies doing shady stuff. With these cameras, she can check in on her daughter anytime, no matter where she is. Soo-jin shows up to work right on time. But her style of dress is completely different from when they first met yesterday. Even her voice sounds colder and way more indifferent. Song-hee is a little taken aback, but she figures young people like to look good. During her break, she pulls out her phone and, out of habit, checks the feed from the cameras in her house. And what she sees is shocking. Soo-jin is holding a knife, waving it around in front of her daughter while saying something. This scene makes Song-hee feel incredibly anxious. But before she can figure out what's going on, her boss suddenly interrupts her and calls Song-hee into a private meeting. Turns out, a month ago, a girl named Eun-ju tragically fell from the building and died. At first, the investigation team ruled it an accident. But then, when the police recovered the deceased girl's phone, they discovered a strange video on it. In the video, the girl first reads a suicide note that she wrote for her mom, saying that lately, she doesn't even feel like herself anymore. Before she could even finish speaking, she suddenly freaked out and stood up in terror, and then her hands started flailing uncontrollably. Nobody knows what happened outside of the camera's view. So, the boss asks Song-hee to re-examine the case. Just as Song-hee is intensely watching the video, Eun-ju's mother suddenly shows up, yelling hysterically that her daughter's death wasn't an accident. Song-hee tries to comfort her, but the mother grabs her wrist, insisting that her daughter's death is connected to evil spirits. Even though Song-hee doesn't believe in all that, she can understand where she's coming from. After all, she's only lost her daughter a month ago. This woman is experiencing a shock that is really taking a toll on her both physically and mentally. That evening, after work, Song-hee wants to ask her daughter about what happened during the day with the nanny, but when she sees how happy her daughter is, she holds back what she wanted to say. After dinner, Song-hee gives Ji-yu her homework, and then she sits at the dining table, watching the video she brought home from work over and over again. Song-hee keeps turning up the volume on her computer, and she thinks she hears chaotic footsteps in the room. Just as she's getting totally creeped out, Ji-yu is suddenly standing right next to her, out of nowhere. Seeing this, Song-hee quickly hides the photos on the table, saying she's going to take Ji-yu to bed, not realizing that Ji-yu already saw what was on them. The second day after installing the cameras, Song-hee is at work and pulls out her phone to check the security footage. But she can't believe the images of today's footage, which causes people to be very uncomfortable. She sees Soo-jin lying face down on the carpet in the bedroom, motionless, just knocking on the floor. Just as Song-hee is watching intently, Eun-ju's mother suddenly calls and asks her to meet up. The woman sticks to her previous story, insisting that her daughter's death wasn't an accident. Especially after watching that video, she's even more convinced that Eun-ju was possessed by something. But Song-hee's investigation shows that her daughter had a history of mental illness, so the behavior in the video isn't that strange. That evening, Song-hee arrives home to find her neighbor staring intently at her house. This immediately puts her on alert. she takes the initiative and asks him what he wants. The man explains that Song-hee's house is too noisy, so he couldn't help but look to see what was going on inside. Hearing this, Song-hee shows her impatience, saying directly that even if he finds it noisy, he shouldn't be staring at other people's houses like that. With that, she closes the door and goes inside. After that, the first thing she does is find Soo-jin and ask her what she was doing in Ji-Yu's room just now. Unexpectedly, the other person says seriously that there was a strange noise on the floor of Ji-Yu's room. Thinking about how today is Ji-Yu's birthday, Song-hee doesn't ask any further questions. She just wants to have a happy birthday with her daughter. But what she doesn't expect is that, during the birthday party, an accident still happens. Right as Ji-Yu closes her eyes to make a wish, her happy, relaxed expression suddenly turns stone cold, and she starts mumbling something incomprehensible. Ji-Yu's behavior at that moment sends chills down your spine. Even though Ji-Yu eventually blows out the candles, Song-hee can't shake the feeling that something is seriously wrong. To ease this weird vibe, Song-hee gets the prepared present and gives it to Ji-Yu. But when she turns around, she sees Ji-Yu is now voraciously eating cake in a way that is not like her at all. Song-hee speaks up to tell her to slow down, and in the next second, Ji-Yu looks totally confused, as if nothing ever happened. Right then, the doorbell suddenly rings. It's a package delivered by the courier, saying it's a birthday present sent by Ji-Yu's father. Song-hee already has a bad feeling about her ex-husband, so she doesn't want her daughter to accept this gift. But unexpectedly, Ji-Yu snatches the box. The little girl excitedly opens the gift and finds a beautiful pair of princess shoes inside. This causes the mother and daughter to have a huge argument. The next day at work, Song-hee is in a really bad mood. During her break, she opens the security camera feed from her home, but a scene on the screen leaves her stunned. In Ji-Yu's room, there's a strange little girl in a white dress standing there. Song-hee immediately calls Soo-jin, asking if she brought anyone else home. But Soo-jin firmly insists that it's just her and Ji-Yu at home right now. After hanging up, Song-hee hurriedly checks the camera again to confirm multiple times. But this time, she sees Soo-jin and her daughter staring straight into the camera in the bedroom. This scene gives Song-hee the creeps. That night, when it's time to sleep, Song-hee is worried that her daughter might do something strange again, so she decides to move to her daughter's room and sleep with her. But just then, the security camera in the living room suddenly makes a notification sound. Song-hee hears it and quickly pulls out her phone to look, but doesn't see anything suspicious. However, just to be safe, she grabs the scissors from the table and carefully goes out to the living room to investigate. After searching around, she doesn't find anything. At that moment, there's a noise from Ji-Yu's room. Song-hee opens the door and sees her daughter playing the electric organ in the middle of the night. Even more disturbing is that, out of nowhere, she started imitating adults by putting on heavy makeup, and she's even started swearing. Song-hee is so shocked by Ji-Yu's behavior that she can't even speak because her daughter has never been like this before. Ji-Yu, however, smiles strangely at her mother after being scolded. The next day, Song-hee apologizes to her daughter about what happened yesterday, but Ji-Yu acts like nothing happened. Just as she's feeling totally confused, Soo-jin, with her face heavily made up, knocks on the door to come to work. Song-hee unceremoniously calls her into the bedroom, questioning whether she's given lipstick to Ji-Yu before, and asking about the little girl in the white dress in the room yesterday, suspecting that it's a younger sister that Soo-jin brought with her. Faced with the suspicion, Soo-jin remains calm, admitting that she did give lipstick to Ji-Yu, but insisting that the other little girl really has nothing to do with her. Song-hee sees Soo-jin's demeanor, knowing that she won't get any answers from asking more, so she just gives a stern warning and rushes off to work. That evening, Song-hee goes to Eun-ju's house, wanting to talk to the girl's mother again about the progress of the case. As soon as she walks in the door, she's drawn to the marks on the walls. It turns out that someone had said Eun-ju wasn't mentally stable, so her mother installed security cameras in the house. But after the girl passed away, the cameras were taken down. Eun-ju's mother says that after her daughter got sick, to cheer her up, she took a trip abroad alone. But when she returned, her whole personality had changed for the worse. From a well-behaved and happy girl, in the blink of an eye, it was as if she had become a different person, every action and gesture radiating a strangeness. While they're talking, Song-hee takes out a photo, asking if this is a photo of Eun-ju taken on her trip abroad. Suk-young sees the photo and her face suddenly changes. She fearfully snatches the photo and tears it to pieces, and then she gets all worked up and pushes Song-hee out the door. Pushed outside, Song-hee is confused and doesn't know what happened. At this moment, she suddenly remembers her daughter's strange behavior lately, and she immediately pulls out her phone to check the security cameras at home. Unexpectedly, the strange little girl appears on the screen again. Song-hee turns on the intercom function, repeatedly calling out to Soo-jin, but the other person doesn't seem to hear her. This makes Song-hee panic. However, when she frantically rushes back home, she finds that only her daughter and Soo-jin are in the house. She searches throughout the living room and bedroom several times, but doesn't find any sign of a suspicious person. But once the seed of suspicion has been sown, it will begin to take root and sprout. At this moment, Song-hee is convinced that the little girl is Soo-jin's younger sister, because otherwise, how could a figure suddenly appear in the house? So, regardless of whether the other person admits it or not, she wants to fire Soo-jin. Soo-jin feels extremely wronged. Unwilling to accept it, before leaving, she says a cryptic sentence in Vietnamese. "Your daughter died because of you." Song-hee doesn't understand what this sentence means, but from her mouth movements, she can tell that this is not nice talk. Only she didn't expect that. As soon as Soo-jin leaves, strange things start happening. In the middle of the night, Song-hee suddenly hears voices talking in the room. It's clear that only she and her daughter are in the house. Sensing something amiss, Song-hee immediately rushes into the bedroom. Unexpectedly, she witnesses a terrifying scene. Song-hee, terrified, quickly takes her daughter back to her room. Then, she pulls out her phone and opens the security camera, and sure enough, she sees the little girl in the white dress is now banging on the door like crazy. Before Song-hee can even process what's going on after the panic, Ji-yoo suddenly lies on the bed, screaming that her head hurts, and then her body starts convulsing, foaming at the mouth. At that moment, the little girl outside is still knocking on the door. But the instant Song-hee puts her phone down, Ji-yoo, on the bed, suddenly turns into a strange face, muttering an incantation. When she comes to her senses, there's no one on the bed anymore, but Ji-yoo's voice is coming from outside the door. Song-hee opens the door and sees her daughter standing outside. She quickly hugs Ji-yoo. Unexpectedly, Ji-yoo says timidly that there's a scary noise under the floor. Hearing this, Song-hee thinks the downstairs neighbor is causing trouble, so she goes to confront him. As soon as she opens the door, Song-hee scolds the guy like crazy. But the neighbor isn't angry. Instead, he invites Song-hee into his house. Song-hee hesitates, then goes inside, and the surroundings make her realize that this guy is a shaman named Soo-rim. It turns out that from the day the two of them moved in, Soo-rim noticed an evil aura in the building. As he's talking, he leads Song-hee to a room, where there's a speaker attached to the ceiling, constantly playing exorcism incantations. "I'm helping you too. You can feel it, right? Something's gotten into your house, and it doesn't seem like something ordinary." Song-hee completely believes these words. After all, she's witnessed all the strange things recently with her own eyes. So that very evening, she brings Soo-rim to her house. After investigating the whole situation, Soo-rim confirms that the haunting of Ji-yoo cannot be separated from the dead Eun-ju. The incantation that Eun-ju recited before her death is a type of spell to summon the spirit of Korean shamans that has been handed down for hundreds of years, meaning invitation. And Ji-yoo watched Eun-ju's video a few days ago, accidentally learned that spell, so she was possessed by the evil spirit. After that, Soo-rim gives Song-hee some talismans, telling her to stick them on all the doors in the house, surround the house with rope, and then burn all the pictures of Eun-ju. This way, the evil spirit clinging to Ji-yoo will be removed. But in the process, these talismans must absolutely not get wet, otherwise all the previous preparations will be in vain. Song-hee listens and doesn't dare delay for a second, immediately doing as Soo-rim says and rearranging the room. After everything is prepared, she rushes to Eun-ju's house, intending to ask her mother for pictures of her when she was alive. Unexpectedly, as soon as she pushes the door open, the scene before her chills her to the bone. Looking at the condition of the corpse, it seems that she passed away after Song-hee left last time. At this moment, Song-hee doesn't have time to be scared. Seeing that there are torn pieces of Eun-ju's picture in the bowl, she quickly picks up the fragments and runs to Soo-rim's house. Receiving the pictures, Soo-rim immediately performs the ritual and chants, finally burning the photos. After doing all this, Song-hee hurriedly returns home. The new nanny tells her that nothing strange happened at home today, and Ji-yu is obediently sitting at the desk doing her homework, as if the previous experiences were just a nightmare. For the next few days, there are no more abnormal phenomena in the house. Song-hee's hanging heart finally starts to relax. But is everything really that simple? That day, when leaving work, Song-hee is talking on the phone with her daughter when suddenly the doorbell rings. After asking the identity of the person who is there, the nanny intends to open the door. Song-hee, through the security camera, recognizes the ghostly figure outside and shudders. She rushes to her car and speeds home. At this time, countless police officers are surrounding the building. The bloody body of the nanny lies in the hallway, and Ji-yu is cowering in fear in her room. As the sole witness to the case, the police can only try to talk to the little girl. But before they can say 2 sentences, Ji-yu screams in fear. With no other option, the police have to leave first. Later, to feel more secure, Song-hee installs a few more 360-degree cameras. After doing everything, Song-hee wipes the bloodstains on the wall with water, but she completely forgets Soo-rim's instructions, which were not to let the talismans get wet under any circumstances. That night, there's thunder and lightning, and Song-hee is worried that something might happen to her daughter, so she stays up all night keeping watch. At this time, there are footsteps outside, the sound getting closer and closer and stopping right in front of the bedroom door. However, when she opens the door to the living room, she doesn't see anyone. Strangely, there are chaotic footsteps all around. Curious, Song-hee pulls out her phone to check the security cameras and sees on the video screen 5 people with bloodied faces standing right in front of her. The next morning, Song-hee invites Soo-rim over again. After carefully inspecting the room, he says that the resentment of the evil spirit has become deeper, and if she doesn't want the evil spirit to haunt Ji-yu forever, she must quickly perform a ritual. Soo-rim also added that cameras and mirrors in the house can become a pathway for evil spirits to travel between the 2 worlds, the living and the dead. Very quickly, night falls, and the ceremony is carried out as planned. Soo-rim chants and prays to the gods and Buddhas to destroy demons. Initially, the ceremony goes very smoothly, and Ji-yu vomits out a lot of filth. After that, the assistant prepares to take these dirty things, along with the paper figures used in the ceremony, to burn them. Unexpectedly, an accident occurs. The paper figures just won't burn no matter what. Soo-rim has returned home. When he receives the phone call from his assistant, he immediately realizes that the ritual was a failure. As soon as he stands up to prepare to go and deal with it, a woman with a face covered in fresh blood suddenly appears before his eyes. At the same time, Song-hee is called to the interrogation room by the police. The reason is that when investigating the case of the nanny, they have discovered other important information about the mother and daughter. In the conversation, the chief police officer mentions Song-hee's ex-husband, asking her why she hasn't allowed him to see his daughter for so many years. Song-hee says that her ex-husband is scum and doesn't deserve to see his daughter. The chief police officer doesn't say anything more after listening, and then asks why Ji-yu hasn't gotten an ID card. Why would an 8-year-old need an ID card? 8 years old? Are you mistaken? What year is it? Time rewinds to midday 10 years ago. Song-hee drives her daughter to a hotel to catch her husband cheating. After seeing her husband and his mistress come out, she leaves Ji-yu in the car to wait for her. But who could have imagined that? Just as Song-hee gets out of the car, she turns around and sees her car being hit from behind by another car. The flames erupting from the car disfigure Ji-yu's face. Now, 10 years have passed, and Ji-yu is actually 18 years old. But because of the accident that year, Song-hee couldn't bear the shock of her daughter being disfigured, and she has since suffered from a severe mental disorder. In her perception, Ji-yu is still the lovely little girl of 8 years old. At this time, the chief police officer tells Song-hee that the first nanny died after falling from the building a few days ago. Adding to the bizarre and tragic death of the current nanny, the police have listed Ji-yu as the #1 suspect. And the truth of the matter is, these people were indeed killed by Ji-yu. Ever since watching Eun-ju's video, she has learned the spirit summoning incantation mentioned in it, which caused her to be possessed by an evil spirit and to no longer be herself. Just as Song-hee is being interrogated by the police, her ex-husband, whom she hasn't seen for 10 years, suddenly shows up at the house. At this time, Ji-yu is at home alone. The man sees his daughter and hugs her tightly. But when Song-hee arrives home, Her ex-husband is lying in a pool of blood, barely breathing. Ji-yu is kneeling beside him in fear. She has absolutely no control over her actions and doesn't even remember what just happened. To protect her daughter from being held accountable, the first thing Song-hee does is pull out all the security cameras in the house, leaving only one to record the situation that follows. She raises the knife, personally ending her ex-husband's life, and then slowly walks up to her daughter. Remembering the words of the exorcist shaman from earlier, to get rid of the evil spirit, there's only one way, and that is to wait for it to enter a body and then destroy that body. That means Song-hee must kill Ji-yu while she is possessed. Otherwise, Ji-yu will continue to kill people without stopping. To save her beloved daughter, Song-hee makes a difficult decision. She gently chants the spirit summoning incantation and then transfers the evil spirit from her daughter to herself. Not long after, the dazed expression of Ji-yu gradually returns to normal, and Song-hee is possessed by the evil spirit, immediately losing control of her body and collapsing completely. After that, Ji-yu is called to the police station. In reality, she always knew that her mother was sick, and throughout the years, she has been acting to cooperate with her mother. The story ends here. And if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next exciting videos.